I feel hard about it.
And that's why I need an adult.
Fair play.
This is...
Oh!
Don't
I am
Almost.
so glad there's a beep button.
I know, right?
We're going to be using that a lot in the show. Okay, cool. All right. No, I'm just messing with the microphone. You know. Hey, by the way, the lighting in here looks terrific. You added stuff that wasn't here the last time. I like the floor lights. That's something that's new.
Added and took away, because if you notice, it gives us a nice, like, little splash on the face to kind of separate us from the beautiful craziness that goes on behind, because, you know...
Yeah, it's got a good... it's got a good wash. You know?
Good juxtaposition. Can I throw that out there?
What now?
Juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition to the
Can
talent.
you use it in a sentence, please?
The juxtaposition. Oh, you fucking oh, you missed it again.
Oh, it's
Oh, man.
I don't like him being behind me.
No, nobody does. Welcome to the Science of Art. This is the show where we meet amazing people from all over the greater Phoenix area and beyond, and we talk about their craft. We talk about why they do it, how they got started, their current triumphs and challenges, and then we completely geek out about the science of what we're actually doing. So this is going to be good. Today, I have Eric Adams with me from Above Below Studios, our sister company to Exit Reality Entertainment.
They're all just sisters.
Okay, our brother company? Do we want to call it that? I mean, I just did
Siamese
both
twin
terms. I
company.
don't know.
Siamese conjoined twin
He's
company.
my lump. He's the lump on my left shoulder. Yeah.
You almost got that one. That one was close.
I'm gonna get better at it.
Steven is on the buttons today, and this is he's
dangerous.
experimenting, he's learning, and it's fantastic.
Now you know the true power I have when we're doing demonic.
I know.
It's
I know.
great.
But anyways, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to be here. It's always great.
I'm glad to have you on this side of things. Usually you're always back there,
It's preferred.
and it's I know I generally like being actually behind the camera more personally, but no, it's nice to kind of have this change where you can actually you know what, I can blame you as part of the reason this show even exists, because we'd get done with gigs and we'd sit around and we'd just shoot the shit, and we'd get into some really deep stuff. We all do. You know, that's kind of like the real reason why the show is happening is with as much as we talk about this, there's always those times where you're like, man, we should have been recording that. Now this is...
You know how weird and how fun it's going to be after when, on our day job, some roadies come through and you're just like, hey, you want to come to my place? You want to come to my garage after work?
It's got that
some
real
cameras,
casting couch vibe.
got some lights.
Chong chong.
It's nice.
Oh, yeah.
You want to come through, record some stuff, wink, wink.
Then they show up and they're very, very let down and confused because they're like, wait a minute. Like, I'm freeballing now. Like, what's the gig here? I mean, I have this pizza box and everything, and you're just like, no, it's not that kind of show.
Some people be really interesting to get on the show.
Well, actually, I was thinking about that too, because no, that is an art. Exotic arts and things like that. That is a thing. So it's important in understanding how some people got into that. Not everybody got into it because of daddy issues. I'm going to put it that way. Like, some people are actually actively nursing students who decided, I want to make good money, but then they actually started realizing, hey, I enjoy dancing, not necessarily in this format, but I enjoy this style, both athletically and aesthetically. And it turns into a thing,
Oh, dude, you can make tons of money doing that. If you're both in front of the camera or behind the camera, you can make good money doing it, especially if you're
and it is an art.
good at marketing.
It really is.
Oh, yeah. There's some stuff online.
No joke.
There's some
There's a
stuff
craft to
online.
it.
There's some stuff I've seen that other production companies that were doing where it looked like a John Wick movie. Like, it was just so beautifully shot. There was really beautiful color to it. Like, some people take the level of art to it and just to a whole nother level.
Well, no, it is. It's the beauty of the human body in that form. Not insinuating. Pushing kind of more the sensual aspects of that. But anyways, now that we're talking about that, that's an interesting segue into lighting, which is the reason why you are on this show today. So first I want to ask is, like, how did you get started doing this? I mean, what was the initial spark that kind of like, what was the light bulb above your head?
So the biggest thing that was drilled into me early on between a lot of people that were mentors for me for getting into cinematography and just the whole world of just outside of the editing bay, because I started with editing, was that lighting is very important, and it really helps you craft the image and what kind of emotion you want to evoke. Like, the last episode, I kind of overdid it a little bit. It's the first one we did, and kind of
still looked terrific, by the way.
To me, it felt like a little bit like hospital lighting, at least on the front side of things, not the background. But now it's nice. It's nice and moody. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It looks nice. But I don't know exactly what it is, but just out of all the different elements on set that I've got to encounter and play around with, lighting just seemed to come the most naturally. I didn't need a complex wealth of knowledge to know what I'm doing. It just kind of, I know what I wanted, and I would do it.
That's no, I can. Doing cinematography is kind of like that. Framing and understanding, like, the positioning of the people in relation to the world around them, and kind of like letting the dialogue and the emotion guide, kind of where you want to position and all that stuff. I agree with that too. Is that, like, and it's amazing how quickly a shot. It doesn't matter what you're shooting on, what kind of glass, or even a lot of times the composition. Although I will say, composition a lot of times of the shot does help save for bad lighting in some scenes and situations, but very, very, very rarely. It has to be outside, actually, in my opinion. That's the only way you can save that. Indoors, if you're putting this there, anytime there's a light source that you have no idea where it's coming from, immediately, even if you're not a movie person, your human brain knows and starts going, this is a bad movie. I don't know why this is a bad movie. It's the lighting.
Sometimes you can also use that. A horror does it a lot. Well, they'll use a lot of uplighting, kind of like how I have here, because more natural lighting for humans and everybody. We have our lighting in the ceiling. We don't really have it on the floor. So
you have to have good practicals. Something in your hand or a match or something that gives rhyme and reason to that. Otherwise, it's, again.
Sometimes you want that misleading, like, oh God, what's going on? Where the hell is that coming from? Sometimes you want to be misleading, but it's all good cinematography is all about a beautiful dance between a good camera work, good lighting work, good blocking. It's all the elements coming together. Once you have one chink in your armor, it starts, you as a human mind, our minds are developed to analyze things and find out, be problem solvers. What's wrong with this? So once you see that chink in the armor, you start to just look for other little details, like especially if you go back and you watch a lot of the earlier 2000 films with bad CGI and you start to notice those things. You start to notice, oh God, this green screen, this shot, they didn't even do it on location. It doesn't look good. Okay, this shot, what's going on with the lighting? You start to notice those things. You start to nitpick them. So it's all about just having a good mesh of everything coming together. Does the lighting serve the blocking? Are we hiding things we're supposed to be hiding? Does everything need to be lit the way? What's the emotion of the scene? What's the director of photography? What's the director wanting to convey? Is it supposed to be a happy scene and I'm over here making it scary as fuck? Like, what's happening?
No, I like that you have the, between cinematography and lighting and music, To be honest, there's a lot of
It's a beautiful dance between all of the elements,
Right,
especially
you know.
audio. I can't even begin. Like, you can have the best shots in the world, but if your audio is just piss poor, oh my god, don't even get me started.
The man is the AV avatar.
I'm not that crazy, but I'm working my way.
This is true. This is true. Matt, you're shaking your head over there. Like a lot.
Bite me, IRL.
Yeah, I love everything you're saying, Eric. I love lighting. Yeah.
I love lamp.
Literally, he loves lamp. I mean, that's-
I do. I mean,
Sure.
my career is to become a gaffer and go into this, and then my day job, I work for Lit Lighting. So I work for a production company that not solely, but primarily focuses on lighting. So by day, I'm lighting stages, and by night, I'm lighting film sets and
Yeah,
lighting
I mean,
this
that's
stuff. It's
hard to
if I
be
exist
pissy in paradise.
if
you know
I
what I mean?
existed in Anchorman, I would 100% be Brick because I do love lamp.
Hey, Eric, a great job on The Specialist,
Oh,
by
thank
the
you.
way.
That was fun.
Film I directed about a year ago.
Can you pull up a clip? Can you actually pull up the trailer?
I can pull up the trailer for The Specialist right
Okay,
now.
because we can get some of those lighting shots in there. I do have to ask: has this always been the thing, or did it start somewhere else? You start with a lot of the resources that you had. Like I started just writing stories and kind of started writing a book when I was really young, and then drawing was always my thing because as long as I had paper, I could write or I could draw.
I've seen what you're capable of. Oh yeah.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
So how did you get started? You know.
So it's going to be kind of similar into the process that you felt. I've heard you've fallen through. Is I started out as an editor. I really wanted to do. When I first started, I really loved what Corridor Digital and Freddie W. and now Rocket Jump, what they were doing back in the early 2000s online with some of the cool CG VFX stuff they were doing back then. I was into After Effects CS3 way back in the freaking day. And the hardest thing is, like, I didn't have much to edit, so I had to start getting into doing camera work and stuff like that. And, you know, once you're one-man banding it early on, you're getting your hands into so many different departments. And I found out that, like, just lighting, I enjoyed the most, and it just came the most naturally. Like, into a lot of the other aspects, like camera work and blocking, I had to put way much more planning and forethought than I did lighting. It was more almost natural. Just more naturally as we were going through it in the pre-production stages, I could just see it in my head immediately and just know what I wanted and what I needed to accomplish the goal that everybody saw. And just, having a one-man band things and just getting your fingers in all the different departments is lighting just came the most natural, and I enjoyed it the most.
That's I feel the same way about directing. I am the best version of myself when I'm directing film. You know, not anything else, just primarily that. There's a lot of things I enjoy doing, but that I feel is being in the natural element. And it's more of
Natural element.
it's more because I can equate it to being more like a conductor, and a conductor is just a lunatic waving his hands in the air without an orchestra. It's as simple as that. And a director is a lunatic who's just waving his hands in the air without your performers and without your production team. And when it's in the pre-production mode and you're developing like the battle plan, your best plan of attack is only going to work if it's management and strategy and all of those things that are going to make the production process streamlined, smooth, but also adaptable in times of adversity, you know, when things and the elements just start changing and stuff like that. But it's being able to be on that ship when, you know, the waves are just, you know, knocking you crazy and you're kind of like salivating like, oh yeah, I love this storm. You know, this is why I'm here.
The chaos.
You know?
It's insane, but it's real fun. You find you find yourself thriving in the most insane of moments, and it's real fun.
So, the trailer is ready to pull up. Yeah, this is the lighting in this, Eric, is just terrific. You know, this was the first actual film I think we did together, right?
It was the first thing we did together, and this was before Above Below was formed.
Yeah. I also want to add that lighting was a big part of this film. As the director, definitely one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to recreate some of the atmosphere. Of course, this is a parody of
The Exorcist.
the iconic
Yeah.
Exorcist film. And that was a big part of it to me was putting this film over was getting the ambiance right, getting the environment right. To me, you came on this film and you did just that. I mean, you executed it perfectly.
I watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dakota gave me the homework of watching the movie over and over, and that's pretty much what I did. Watched a few times, paid attention to when.
And see, that's all it took is a few times. And see, it would take any normal man so many more times. But just a few times, and you seem to have it locked in your brain. I think it really, to me, it was one of the major aspects that put it over, I think, with the crowd. It made them feel, that parody aspect of it. So this was a hell of a job.
Thank you.
You ready for it?
Yeah, we shove. The reason you can't see him is we shove him in the corner because
it's better back here. It's better.
We'll get him a
for
camera.
everybody.
Yeah, eventually.
Get him a GoPro, like a Hero 2.
I was thinking like a real old GoPro.
Hero 2, yeah, the first Hero.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Somewhere between sanity and
I
rationality,
still love the voiceover work on this.
there is another
thank you.
reality.
It just reminds me so much of
Check out that Moonlight,
heavy
sorry.
metal.
That Moonlight is killer.
Oh yeah, that was real fun doing that. Especially without a proper hazer too. We just had like a little Party City fog machine, didn't
A
we?
realm.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah, because we were just. But it worked for the atmosphere of that particular
Yeah, it works.
shot because it was supposed to be colder,
Nobody
and the
ever
haze
seen
would have created
the
a
evil.
different atmosphere than the billowing.
We would have needed
effect.
a lot more
Yeah.
haze to create the effect. Yeah.
Nice job with the lightning as well.
There's only
Oh,
so
that was
much
fun.
Iconic
the
scene.
church can do at this point as well. This particular entity inhabiting your daughter
Nice.
require a more
Oh yeah, the Morticia Adams shot. Get the light band just on the eyes.
unique approach.
That table scene is a good example of top light
Oh yeah.
and the difference you
Good
get.
ambiance lighting with it.
Why isn't God working?
Please, sir, you have to save my baby.
That sliver of light.
Yeah, and this is
over her eyes.
before I had a lot of instruments I did. I didn't have any C stands. I didn't have any flags. I didn't have any real proper diffusion. I didn't have the Aries that I did nowadays.
You didn't have a skateboard, so you had to go on your knees to get that one shot with the
Oh,
lightning.
We were roughing it. We made a lot happen on that.
Yeah.
From exit reality.
You remember that ghetto ass dolly I brought? That
Oh,
was
yeah.
that was 2 pieces of wood. That was a few pieces of wood and some PVC pipe. Yeah, we made
got
it
it.
work.
It worked. Yeah.
We made it work.
No, that was. Hey, Matt, can you there's a video actually. If you can just look up different. It's like different.
That's my personal soundtrack. Just me hitting a vape.
Nice.
Different emotions from different lighting. Because I think there's good videos where they represent. They have lights that actually go around the face, and you can see different different ways that the light, when you adjust it. And we need different mic stands eventually.
Look what we got here. 101, a quick guide for lighting film.
What you just really need is the arms.
Yeah, well,
How
That's what I
lighting.
mean.
Oh, here we go.
We,
Convey emotion.
this old bunker that we're in, I mean, what are you going to do?
Question for you. So I have a rack case. Mm-hmm. It's fucking massive. Would you be interested in using it as your table? Because with it laying down, it's about the same fucking dimensions, and it's a road case.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, because I was thinking of something like that instead of. I was going to build something instead of this table. This table's just kind of temporary. But yeah, I was going to kind of build like some sort of a nuclear reactor thing.
I don't know if-
but that would be cool.
You can
Help me light it on the inside. and make
I'm
the
just
thing-
trying to get rid of it at this point. It's a lot bigger. I got it for like real cheap. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. Like, so it's just a traditional rack case, but it's fucking massive. But yeah, it's Steven, wouldn't you say that that case is about the same size as this table? About the like height and width and
Definitely.
and then yeah, it's like military green too.
That'd be fun.
And then yeah, you can do whatever you want with it and get extra reality or get the science of art spray painted on it on
Yeah.
the side. That'd be real cool.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
This is why we
We
keep you
like
around,
turning
Eric.
stuff
So,
into stuff.
you could get
That's what we do best.
you could get buried for days in these, and that's the best way to learn. Honestly, that's actually how I started. Was YouTube. Like I even went to like a lot of people did. I went to film school, and the only thing film school ever taught me was lighting is important and how to look at things like a business, because at the end of the day, it
That
is
is
a
true.
business. There is
That is
money
very
to be
true.
made. There is bottom lines. There are people putting their investors. There's a whole level. Fortunately, it's not just art. It's got a pretty...
This one, I think, how lighting can convey emotion. Let's take a look at that, because this, I think, can you
want to bring that in, Steve?
Yes, I do.
see if you can skip forward a bit?
Styles of lighting. And today we're going to go over how to actually
See,
About
nah, yeah, there we go. Those are some good examples of,
within your films.
Yeah.
Now the most
this
obvious
out.
part
So
of
if you
lighting,
look,
in a film is
moving
just the
around
exposure.
with the light like that,
kind
kind of gives you a good example of like what I always like to tell people is don't look directly at the sun, obviously, but look at the sun as a good example. Don't always look at the sun as oh, it's coming up and it's coming down. No,
and this was really, really cool. And
that's like a light ball or a ball of light, and if you look at where it is positioned, that's how we were able to replicate that with artificial lighting. Is we use the sun as our example. What does it look like when it's at this angle versus this angle versus this angle?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and then what happens when you start to manipulate it? What is what happens when you put like a sheet or something in front of a hard light or a round light or something like that, or when you manipulate
what all
it,
of the
you know?
lighting design boils down to is the manipulate. It's not just about having the source of light and where it is, because where it is does play a big deal. Do not get me wrong, but it's also what you do to manipulate that light. Is it a hard light? Is it a soft light? Are you how heavily are you diffusing? Are you doing a book light, like where you're bouncing it off of one and then diffusing it straight to your talent?
There's a
Is it
bounce.
like what we have here, where it's just a basic softbox with a honeycomb grid on the front of it. Like, it's all about in the intensity, and there's so many factors at play, but it's real fun, especially when you get flags into play and you start flagging off certain parts to where it's only illuminating certain aspects of your shot, and it's real fun. It's real hard. Like, it was so hard not to just pack up all the C-stands, bring all the flags, and get real heavy with it, because that's
Right.
that's always the go-to, is what am I going to need? What do I want to do versus what is truly needed for the shot? Because you don't always need a whole bunch of stuff. Right. You have a key light, I have a key light, and then our backlight is just the illuminating the set, and then after that it's just all practicals. And practicals, in my opinion, are the way to go. Practicals are real fun.
If you can get more practicals into a good example of kind of the use of practicals, I think, in a film that I saw recently was
we did it in The Specialist.
Oh yeah,
because remember
The Specialist, and also Like and Subscribe was something else.
Like you were talking earlier with motivated lighting. Like, sometimes you need to know where that source is coming from.
Can you bring up Like and Subscribe trailer? Because that's another one that if you really want to talk about motivated, practical lighting, the computer monitors, the rest of the lights in that space, the lamps,
and that's honestly
TV,
that's what honestly that's what I'm a slut for. Motivated, taking practicals and motivating them is just the way to go. Oh, you right there. Oh, go back up. Like and subscribe. Trailer 4K. It's right below. This will shock you.
Right there.
It's right below the movie. Steven sound. Oh, it's muted on your end, Matt.
Oof.
Matt done goofed.
So yeah, right there, using the TV screen as lighting.
Oh, there's
the practicals and stuff. The computer monitors.
There is a massive latency between the two.
Do you know who I am?
Oh my lord, there is a massive latency.
This is YouTube. This is why I think.
Well, it could also be our Bluetooth connection between.
I will
We're looking at the lighting, boys.
But hey, we're talking about lighting in this episode, not sound, okay?
Which was
this is
which was real fun because we were going after Matt Pleasant being a YouTuber, and that gave us the massive excuse to show actual film lights, quote unquote, in the shot, even though we were using a lot of more panels to kind of convey like the YouTuber sense, because YouTubers, they just flood with panels, and and honestly everyone starts out with lighting panels. I still have my 4-pack of newer panels.
We're using those
we're using the
GVMs,
we're using
right
the
there,
GVMs. They do a killer job, dude.
They really do. If you're looking for a really good starter bang for your buck, these GVMs,
don't go too cheap. Because you're going to spend more money buying cheap gear than it breaks, and you go through it, and then you just wish you had the better stuff. You eventually buy the better stuff, and then you don't use the cheap gear as much anymore. And then it's better just to sometimes skip the newer stuff, like like Newer served me pretty well, but GVM has been very nice. Like Newer gets the job done on some of their panels, but GVM, what they pack in there is really nice. Really nice,
and this being what's nice is they take batteries, and they're also they have the cord as well, and the power pack. But the fact that it's a 3 kit, or 3 light kit, that's nice for 3-point lighting for starters. Because a lot of people just make the mistake of buying 1, and you want 3-point lighting. But these having the barn doors,
3-point is always a great place to start, honestly.
Yeah, and it comes with the filters too. And the other thing that's nice is the fact that they are RGB, the fact that they have all the different, like the party mode and cop lights and lightning and
honestly,
TV
the only
and
thing
fire.
they're truly missing is a true DMX connection.
True. This is one of the things that I do wish they had, but for it being a starter kit, for beginners, they're not going to know what any of those cables are going to even mean, so they won't really know the difference.
I truly started off was, I think I spent like $20-$30 on Facebook Marketplace, and it was photography. It was the light bulb with the umbrella. Super cheap. That's where I started from there, just to get the job done. Like even early on when I was still in the Handycam days, like I still knew lighting had to be there. You couldn't skip lighting.
I was using
can't skip leg day.
There was a movie that we were trying to make. This was way back in the day. It was going to be zombies versus vampires, the undead versus the living dead. And one of the scenes that was shot in the basement was going to be this guy unearthing a vampire that was just kind of like living under the dirt, and we shot that just using most of the lights that we used on that set were just like construction lights and
I've used construction lights. I still have them.
Like some of the lights that we have that are on the set right now that are just practicals, like the aluminum dome lights, that kind of stuff, But it's still, if you hit your mark just right and you put yourself actually in the right environment, those are those kinds of practicals that you can use that actually recreate just the right type of lighting that also makes your brain go, okay, I see brick walls and I see that they're lit like that, even though that I don't quite know where the lights are coming from. The temperature of the light is what's actually making me believe this.
There's so many companies making so many great products. Like Aperture is on a real great kick right now with their little Aperture MCs, the little light boxes I'm always whipping out, or even the B7Cs, the light bulbs that I'm always using.
Those are cool. They're $100 a piece, well worth the money. The fact that they're Bluetooth and you can run it with your phone and
you always just see me run around with the iPad, and I have because you remember on the last film we did, we had like I think like what, Steven, 8 to about a dozen of those B7Cs.
Oh yeah.
And
that was cool.
We had pretty much the whole house was controlled off of one iPad. Yeah, and that was really nice. Cool. Can turn off the
technology has caught up very quickly to where once you buy something new, it's already old.
Affordable nowadays.
But that's the other thing. Now tech can be taught creativity's harder. You know, that's something that you really have to have that knack or knowledge, the capability of pursuing knowledge further, you know, so that like once you hit speed bumps, you go, I something in my DNA is not allowing me to put this down. I have to solve this problem, and that's where it's like, and there's
also,
your path, you know, essentially.
That's film. No matter what department you're in, that's film. It's just problem solving. It's professional problem solving from pre to pro.
Absolutely. I'm gonna. Here's a question. What do you generally pull the most inspiration from? I mean, as far as like, well done.
Nice. Do you have that applause
That
ready?
is staying in there.
You missed it, Steven.
There we go.
You missed your shot.
So, good food, I would imagine, is inspiration from that response. But no, I mean, do you pull more inspiration from things like nature? Is it other movies? I know quite a few people, like, I don't know this for a fact, but Roger Deakins just seems like one of those guys when it comes to like cinematography and lighting, to where he likes being in. He just with as good as he is recreating scenarios and scenes in natural lighting so well. I just picture him like people watching a lot, or just observing natural space with people in it. When he finds some place, I can imagine him kind of like sitting and observing that.
You'd probably be very similar. You remember? I don't remember the artist, but we were both.
I could be wrong.
We
you
were,
might be like
we were both at State Farm Stadium, and we were doing this big steel build, and so we were kicking up all this dust everywhere.
Oh, I remember that. That was so
and
cool.
And the sun was just peaked over just right, and we saw these heavenly, godly light rays coming through that window. That would be a good inspiration. Just, I'd say a lot of natural stuff that just naturally happens in real life. Deakins would be a good inspiration. It's just a lot of what happens naturally. I try to be as naturalistic with my lighting as I can, but still at the same time, when you watch a lot of movies and you truly analyze it, it doesn't 100% matter all the time, as long as you can convey the right message. Like especially if you're doing horror, you can just flip the whole. You can look at the light. You can look at the rule book and say, "Fuck this shit," toss out the window, and then that's when shit gets real fucking fun.
That's true, because have you seen Color Out of Space yet?
I don't think I have.
That movie is. Okay, in my opinion, that movie is just phenomenal. I think that's definitely one of Nicolas Cage's most recent better films.
You wanna bring
can
up
we
that
pull up that
trailer?
trailer real quick? The lighting in that, and here's the thing, because I they've made fun of it enough. The first Green Lantern movie, it never happened. But the one thing that was, very notable was the very specific color that they chose for his green, a very kind of a deeper emerald, versus something that was kind of more vibrant, like the green kind of we have up there. Yeah, it was deeper emerald, but then the yellow they chose was an interesting choice. They took a lot of naturalistic approaches to those things, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But with this, the very specific purple they chose for this, I think, is it's weird. I wish there was a name for. There's got to be a name for this color. Space purple.
Puce.
It's so cool though.
There's
But
some
let's
fun
go ahead
words
and
for purple.
let's check this out.
All right, Steven, you want to bring that in?
Yeah. Go ahead, press play.
Look at this.
I love my cage.
And see, it's got that nice. I always love those tall vaulted ceiling houses like that in films where they can allow
you can
a lot of sunlight to come through and create that nice natural soft look, because then you can replicate that with
fun ceilings or high ceilings are always real fun.
oh yeah.
And everything just blew up.
So I'd say
That color, that's so cool.
That is actually what we modeled. You remember when Above Below formed early on? That's actually the purple we modeled after.
I remember that because when we were working on the logo and stuff.
Yeah, this is what our purple's actually modeled after.
This might be my favorite Nicolas Cage film.
You weren't there for that,
Really?
Stephen, but yeah, that's the origins of where we got our purple from.
Really like
that's a
Willy's
high,
Wonderland, but
Because
that's a high mark.
Because
It
I
is.
remember
It is.
talking
Connor's up
originally
there.
we were going to get it the same type of text where it's just
Yeah.
the purple with the black, the inverted text like that.
Mm-hmm. This was such a. It was a.
if you're
going
gonna
to
do HP Lovecraft,
it was good.
yeah, this is the way
Yeah.
to do it. I mean, I
I can see a lot
it's
of
hard to do.
inspiration from things like Poltergeist and Pet Cemetery in this as well. But it's an H.P. Lovecraft story, and it's
Beautiful purple.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably using some RE Sky panels or something like that.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Well, you can imagine that
something with a very, very good fucking what was the TRI scale or something with a
Mm-hmm.
very good color quality. Something
Right.
very. So when you're seeing those purples, it means the true purple, but it also falls into post as well. 'Cause,
Something else we should look up here real quick is you should look up the behind the scenes for Evil Dead, and look at what the lights that they because remember there's scenes where they would fly the camera in on like a line
Yeah, it was.
through the woods.
Are you
and
talking
stuff.
about the original Evil Dead?
No. The
New one? Reboot?
The new one.
Yeah, I forget what they're called, but they got it running like a zip line.
Yeah, it was a zip line that they had.
They
Where
treat
they,
like sky cams at like football games and stuff. They're really cool.
but they did it through the woods, and that was really cool.
Was that 2013? Maybe it was.
Yeah, it was 2013.
Okay.
Bonhoeffer. Said that wrong.
Okay.
So let's scroll down. I
Oh, you
think-
want to scroll down?
Oh wait, no, that'll work.
Might be it.
Yeah, if we can, because
What?
there's some.
Why am I only hearing it one ear? Okay, there we go.
Interesting.
I didn't do anything, I swear.
I was like, I'm only hearing it in one ear. What's going
Everything was
on?
intense. We decided to
So,
make a
yeah, we can
100%
scroll through.
CGI-free movie.
This
So
might
everything's
not be
real,
it.
so that really makes it for a different experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
this
what's
one
cool.
isn't.
Are
Yeah,
you
this is
talking-
a good one to
Are you
look at.
talking the original or the remake?
No, it's this one. But there's
Oh, you see it in
You
the
mean
cut,
here-
you see it in the
Oh.
edit.
yeah.
You were standing
There you go.
Love
There's
my
some of those
Aries.
stuff to do.
There you go.
So you're like pretty disturbed.
So yeah, that we need to get some of those too. We'll
But
eventually
let's,
get to those.
let's-
The one,
there's
the 1
another
and 2K.
video.
We
check
don't
out
have the
this.
power distribution.
Amazing.
It was also another one
If we
where
were
some of
running,
the
if
stuff
we were
that they did
running
for
like an
lighting with that was really
RE1K,
cool.
if we were running an RE1K, we'd only be able to throw one on a
Scroll
circuit
down.
and nothing else in that room.
No.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
B-roll. It might be a lot of the B-roll stuff, but oh, there's a good one. Check out that one because
one?
see the big kind of tarp structures that they have to build.
Oh, the negative fills. Get some negs in there.
Now there you can see they have to kind of create a lot of atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
In order
they
like
probably have about 3 or 4 guys walking around doing that
oh
Which
yeah.
is activated by the light.
with that
You
with
know,
that big amount of space.
Speaking of which, I found there is a bug hazer that has been recommended as being like a really good low budget option for.
I mean, the one you guys have is pretty great so far.
Well,
but
that's good
if we're
for
go-
like indoor stuff like that. But I'm saying like as a fogger for doing that like outside. So I don't think it's this one. This is all natural lighting that they're using right now, but they're we don't have to look for it now if we can't find it.
Find something.
But yeah, there's really what it comes down to is the science of photons, because you also have to think about the broad spectrum.
even down
of-
to how the camera captures it. It's all just light photons.
Oh yeah, and glass too. That's why you need. I mean,
How we're seeing things.
if you just put, we are gonna do an episode on glass and lenses, too, at some point. But
Could do a big rental for that one.
yeah,
Do a shootout.
if you were to Oh, wow, look at that guy.
Probably in a bigger video. Probably in a bigger like behind the scenes thing.
It was just one that I found on YouTube. If you scroll back up, it's definitely one of the B-roll things.
Oh, my boy Campbell.
That's Pizza
B-roll.
Papa.
Pizza
Man, look
Papa.
at the amount of plastic they have to
Papa
put
pizza.
over all the equipment too, which is fun.
This.
There is one of those interesting lighting moments. This is kind of a good a good thing to kind of showcase with those eyes, like for the specialist that we did too, where she's kind of peering through that spot.
It was so hard not to
Morticia
just
eye
blind the
hands.
shit out of Gigi, just trying to get those eyes
I
to
know.
pop, but
Well, you got your chance to blind somebody with fins.
You got that huge light, Eric, above her, that huge panel
Right?
going down on her. Sorry, I know how that sounded. Pointed
pan.
down towards her.
Yeah, it's amazing too. Like you can't really see it in a lot of these shots until you pan out too. But like, there's
oh yeah, they got a big.
yeah. So if you look,
I've been wanting
like,
to get one of those, and yeah, you got your
the
C-stands
lights have
with
to
some
be
flags.
really close to the talent a lot of times too. Like sometimes you'll see this scene where you cut away from to a wide shot and they're just in a big empty room, and then you'll get up really close. I just actually saw a picture recently from The Dark Knight Rises, where Batman has Bane kind of on the ground, and he's talking to him, and I remember that close-up, where he's saying that line, tell me where the bomb is, then you have my permission to die. And I remember that really beautiful close-up with the highlight and stuff like that. And then if you look at the BTS stuff or the shot, there's a huge light panel just like that one, and it's like like 6 inches away from the two of them, and it's right there in this bank. And it's just like the two of them, this huge light panel.
You'll get a lot more control.
And then the camera guy.
You'll get a lot more control by getting it a lot closer that way, because then you don't need to jack up the intensity. Because once you start jacking up that intensity and moving it farther away, you start playing with the inverse square law. You start losing.
Oh, that was a good one. That's a good example of like
love to get one of those.
But see the level of bounce that they've got. They have these massive structures essentially that once they have that light on the top, they use those things
more often
to bounce
than not,
the light in.
It's usually just a massive reach fork with a nice little, probably like a 10 by 10 truss structure suspended from it, and then they just suspend the rest of it from there. And
yeah, and that's really what we're seeing in this film too. I just like using this one because of the amount of practicals that they use in this film. It's incredible because there's a lot of stuff that I thought was CGI.
Fire is about as practical as it gets, I guess.
Yeah, but you see a lot of films that botch that. They don't do it right,
It's not. It's not 100% easy, and time is money.
Yes, it is. But that's another reason why they were using those bounces too, is because rather than having to ship in 3 lights, a smart LD will be able to take 1 light and turn it into like 6 lights just by using bounces, and even manipulating the light so you could.
The next step. So my latest venture has been playing with flags and stuff like that. My next venture, there's some really interesting stuff out there, and it's playing with mirrors. There is this one contraption I saw. It's kind of like those lights you see at home where it's got like 8 tentacles and they each got a light bulb, but at the end it's different mirrors. So you shoot 1 light at it and you can start bouncing 8 different little mirrors to aim it at different spots. And so by using 1 light and a couple different mirrors, you can get your key, your fill, your backlight, and even throw some like a little splash on the background to give some depth as well. And like, you can get really crazy with
what's
it.
cool about that too is you can use different colored mirrors that will refract they will hit a specific spectrum.
Just
and
gel the mirror and boom, you're good to go.
So that's just like the Egyptians used to use with obsidian. You got to think about who, like, just that concept 3,000 years ago. Who was like, I think I have an idea.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens.
I mean,
Possible.
It's always aliens. It's always aliens.
It's like
I mean, you know, look at those buggers out there.
Oh, they're out there.
Yeah, they're there.
Well, if anybody knew about the science of art, it was the people who, or entities or beings that created the pyramids. I would say this.
Well, everybody needed entertainment. So, something else I would like to ask you is, what are your current? We were talking about like triumphs and challenges. Right now, we're about to get into. We got a lot of good stuff coming out in 2024. We have this show, Science of Art. And by the time everyone's hearing this, we're going to be well into 2024. You know, but we're not well
Hello
in,
from
but
the past to the
yes.
future.
Hello. But yeah, we have the Science of Art. We have AZ48, which is, you know, absolutely outstanding. Today we got to watch some more of the.
And we have a few more people interested in joining on.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay, Mr. DJ.
We are going to start trickling in some audio fun stuff for Dark West as well here pretty soon.
We have the gear
little
for
short
it.
stories
We just got the Midas MR12. It's got the best preamps in the world. It's sounded really good, and with the gear Dunn's been getting for the Science of Art, the things we're going to be capable
yes,
of.
thank you
nowadays.
to David Dunn,
100%,
our
100%.
other business partner back east. We wish he was here, and you can see what he's been doing with our logo. We've been working with him. For those who are just listening to us, you can also check out this podcast on YouTube, and I believe we're going to be putting it on Rumble too.
Be Rumble on. I'm gonna be on Spotify
Yeah.
What is a Rumble?
soon. You know, for all of our alternative listening fans out there, you know, we'll be on Rumble.
Yes, we will.
It's gonna be the UFC and the Science of Art.
Yeah, we might even find some other blockchain or some thing we can put it on. I was thinking
you
like
can even go Newgrounds, bro.
I was thinking
we're on Newgrounds. You can put it on Newgrounds.
I was thinking like old
They
school
still
DVDs
exist.
and carrier pigeons, you know, chimney style. That's
8-track.
Start getting QR codes made, put them on stickers, start slapping them at bus stops, gas station bathrooms.
I have all of these
need to start
floppy
burying more stuff
disks
in the
too
desert.
that I think
Oh, dude.
you know we
yes.
could put like maybe a
Dude,
0.5 seconds of 4K.
go all hacker man.
What is
I don't even think that much.
That'd probably be like 6 frames of 4K.
Yeah, you know. So, no, we got. I mean, Idiot Invasion has AZ48 hidden strong. This is launching, which is also going to have a lot of other things to it. It's not just going to be a podcast. We're also going to have Dark West with some stuff. Synesthesia is kicking off with more music videos and more musicians who are kind of working with us on projects. And then Commitment, I think, is going to be the next big venture as far as like a film that we're going to be doing. But are there any other things right now that you would say that you're really proud as far as accomplishments go? And are there any current challenges that are really keeping you up at night that, you know...
Excluding just normal day-to-day life BS stuff always happens. People go through the notions, and notions are always tough. No, just the typical riding the wave of work and no work, of funding in the industry. You know, and sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not so much, but pretty much that's just usually what keeps me up at night. But that's just got to keep a fun balance of things. But no, other than that, right now we've just been pressing hard on a lot of work for Demonic. We got a new going for a club style EP, or it's honestly probably going to form more into like a 6 to 8 song album.
Very nice.
But it's going for the style of La Castlevania, who did the soundtrack for all the John Wick movies.
I have a few of those songs, and
so it's
I know what you're talking about.
It's
That's
going
cool.
to go very, very hard and very fun. So other than that, no. Just
Speaking of demonic,
Yeah,
maybe I
can
could pull
we,
that up.
just looking forward to that.
And lighting. We worked on a music video early in
Through
2023.
Shadows is a really good
Oh, that was fun.
There's some really cool lighting in that.
Do we want to look at the Raw versus Final?
Yeah,
Because that shows a little bit of the
let's look at that one because
lighting aspect.
I want to see some of your wizardry,
Right.
here, and also phenomenal editor, by the way, Mr. Adams.
Yes. So to preface this once again, going back, we shot a video earlier in 2023 for Demonic. This is for the Through Shadows.
Yeah, I still love it. So this was also my first time ever working with an external monitor, and I was just sending a raw signal, or not even a full raw signal, but as you can see, I sent out all the camera information that got baked into the video files, and I had to sit there and edit around all of that.
It's our living room.
Looks quite familiar.
And your backyard.
That fake blood tasted terrible.
Oh,
As it always does.
Is there a boo button on that soundboard?
You say boob or boo?
Oh, I thought I was like boob. Boob.
Is there also
Like a boob button.
boob?
It's the tip button.
I love the lighting is really cool in this, especially with the this is the fan, right? Did we do the fan in this one?
Select shots. Unfortunately, it did not come out.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, the quad shot was really cool. That was an inspiration from the Kendrick Lamar music video.
No, I was gonna say I really like the teal that you did in the blood splatter room.
Oh,
that's really cool.
It really made it the contrast of it.
Yeah, it
pop,
really
and
did.
It just gave it this like ghostly, otherworldly feel to it. Like you weren't exactly on Earth anymore. You didn't know where you were.
Right.
Mixed in with the Dexter kill room. I just wish we had the funding for thicker plastic. That shit was so terrible, man. Like having everyone manage that during the wind.
And you know what? That's the wind knows. Do you know what I mean? The wind knows when you are going to be doing things because
nature knows when it's time to film. It's time to have fun.
Well, that was one of our big problems on that film that we did this summer, where it was just the wind kicked up, and the taller we make the lights, the harder the wind decided to blow. And by that time, it's nice if you can afford something like the cement blocks or the water tubs that they use for concerts. Where you can just create a ballast and just...
It was miserable because we weren't losing lights. It was more... We were losing gels.
Right.
There was so many C-47s and gaff tape on these poor REs just to get the gel to stay. And then like 10 minutes later, someone would come up to me, hey, you lost your gels. Alan would come up to me, he'd just hand them to me, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Not again. Not again. Oh, dude, we didn't lose a single one in the desert at 3 a.m. We didn't lose a single gel.
Steven, I'm getting you on here with...
Are we doing a double tonight?
Chris, at some point. No, here's what I want to have Chris and Steven on, and we're going to talk about metal vocals.
We are set up for 2 guests. We just got to get the space for on camera.
Yeah, and then
that's it.
Another chair. It's in the budget. We have a chair budget.
Hey,
I just got to find the right chair.
Soon I'll have some fun gear like a camera splitter to a monitor, so the tech table can see all the cameras on one screen. We'll be utilizing that for AZ48 as well. There will be some nice fun stuff for production trickling in.
I'm sure this is interesting for our audience to watch and hear. We're just kind of bantering at this point about upcoming business and upcoming shows. We're really excited about this.
Hard not to when you live this life.
I'm waiting before making like an official announcement about the frequency, but I can still name drop. You know what I mean? But with everything else, there's the lighting on Commitment is going to be interesting because we have the bunkers, which
There.
See, a lot of it's going to come up to location. Everything at this point, as far as lighting, will involve
There is
seeing what locations are going to be like
something
beforehand.
I was looking at for. Speaking of, get ready for this, Matt. There was a light I was looking at into
Yeah, can you pull it
renting.
up on the screen?
Yeah, the light.
Look up the ADJ Jolt bar.
The Jolt bar. That.
They're about
You know, the guys
Jolt
who
bar.
came up with these
FX,
names
yes,
for a lot
that's
of
it.
these lights
So this
should pair with a lot of the people
Oh.
who name certain strains of weed, I think. You know what I mean?
yeah, go through that. So that one you were just hovering over. I
What,
think
what
yes,
is this? Oh, this is Volt Bar. It
this
smells great.
this would
doesn't
be
it?
a cool light to have for some of those bunker scenes.
Okay. Those are some
They're about
spooky ass looking
they're about
cameras.
they're about $800 a pop, so I don't think renting them would be too expensive.
Hello,
Right.
everyone. I'm Mike Turner with ADJ, and I'm very excited to introduce yet another edition
Some nice
of
pipe and
Jolt's
drapes you got going on there.
This is the Jolt Bar FX. Now, we packed this unit in a very linear fashion that's going to allow you to stack them end to end or vertically.
Ah, very nice.
This gives you another option.
So this is something I was interested in looking at because it's got numerous different effects, and I know for
That's what you're looking for, of course. So let's talk a little bit
a
about
lot of those bunker scenes, we're going to get creative with the sci-fi look and really pump in fun, different colors through things. And
Well, with the bunkers, we're Matt, can you do me a favor and can you pull up the kind of the debriefing scene in Skyfall where 007 is running on the treadmill and kind of prepping. It's in the new MI6 underground facilities after they get hacked. Yeah, that's the one.
oh yeah, a lot of
This
overhead
is-
soft lighting. I was talking the technical from. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but the tubes.
Yeah.
For more of the technical sci-fi scenes, I'm looking into some more.
See this
Hold off.
very static kind of white.
Yeah, it's a very just.
I don't think this is the scene. I think the other scene is.
This is good though.
This is good.
007, Gareth Mallory.
I hope I haven't missed anything. The PM does prattle on in a crisis.
But that is a very specific. Yeah, it's that second one.
Nice soft overhead lighting,
Yeah.
very evenly spread across.
There you go.
We'll see some similarities here. But yeah, this
is
kind
very
of.
similar. Yeah.
This is actually very much what we're looking to do. In fact,
That respirator is interesting too. Just saying.
That wouldn't be that hard.
well, I was planning on. I want to do a respirator like that. A lot of what you're seeing here is pretty standard for a lot of this. So this would be kind of the things that he would be hooked up to, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
This
is-
scene
This
is
is actually
because
this is how
a lot
a lot
of-
of it is going to go. It's going to jump through just like this. It's very nice like this.
right pull-ups,
of
push-ups,
practical.
water
Quick,
stuff, that kind
cutting
of thing.
to each scene. He's kind of counseling him. Yeah.
Because this is where they're doing kind of a debriefing here on a past mission. This is pretty standard. You know, a lot of times what they're doing is the reason they ask these questions during these scenarios and these scenes is because you have to, you know, answer some pretty heavy analytical questions that make you think while you're under strain and stress. So you got to be counting, keeping your breath, keeping that tempo, but you
Loved
also
it.
have to be thinking pretty deeply and answering these questions with some validity. And some of these questions might also put you into an emotional state too, which will knock you off balance. So that's why this is a good example of kind of
Yes.
what
Yes,
we're
I love
going
the
off
brick.
of.
I love the brick.
So
I
it's
love the
less
lights.
it's less heavily stylized and actually more
Well, it's all the emotion you're trying to convey at
Cold,
that moment.
room right
Yeah, it'd be a
sterile,
lot of
stark.
exactly.
I love those
room
lights
right
they're
here,
using
check
up
this
on
out.
top.
Check this out. This room right here is a good example. Very solitary.
Asylum like, you know.
Yeah, but you notice the brick. You notice it's pretty
Surgical.
roughed up. You know, it's a secret place.
Sorry, I can't.
This is cool.
Don't. I will unprogram all those buttons anytime you're A1ing.
Have you seen this?
Been pretty good.
Here, check this out.
Yeah, it looks like a.
How do we do this with these?
Yeah, it looks like.
This is
just
still
work?
stuff from the shelves. Yeah, I think that's a projector lamp. You know, we got them all.
I want to try.
There's some really cool retro
I want to
stuff
try.
in there. Have
but
you
I'm
seen
afraid that pop on me.
this? Like, man, what year is this from?
I feel like that'd make a good YouTube channel.
It's got to be 87.
It's probably got a fuck ton of oil.
Yeah,
all
that's
over
got
the
to be
bowl
an
by
87.
now.
Well, maybe older. That is that,
Watch it be 94.
maybe.
94. Ooh.
Then this is a Honeywell Strobonar, and I thought you'd find that
Did
kind
you
of
just
interesting.
say Stroboner?
So while
Strobonar,
I'm playing,
not
Can I get an applause on
Strobonar.
that?
you start that.
Oh, I have to start the joint. Okay.
Yeah, you're the
Thank you,
house. Does this work? Steven, calm down. I will unprogram
I
those
was
buttons.
told to.
Yeah, dude, everybody loves
Way mad.
a
Does
good
this thing work?
erection.
This is a psychonautic friendly show.
It is very much so.
Does it work?
Well, I mean, it kind of it's
Blind somebody.
you know the way this particular part of just little information, the science of art will eventually kind of branch out. Its intended purpose will be more of an education platform. We will be kind of setting up a type of master class eventually. We will also be doing some tutorials and unboxing videos. Maybe bring back Unboxing Bobby. I don't know. What do you think,
yes.
Matt?
Well, he died, from what I heard.
But he made a lot of content beforehand. I think it'd be funny if he made future content in an alternate universe that
Oh, yeah.
it's lights we have here that are just coming out, but in their reality, it's stuff they're way ahead of
We
us.
can just use the multiverse as an excuse
For anything,
anything
for
we wanna
anything.
do. Everybody else does. I mean, why not?
This thing would be so cool.
This
if it could
lighter
work.
is garbage, and I need to go get another one. Unless
have
somebody
one.
has one on them.
I have one.
Well,
I hope.
you know, I was gifted this at
Oh,
Saguaro
damn, my
Man
bad.
this year.
There's that. That's pretty
Speaking
cool.
of major lighting, and,
Were you trying to see if it worked?
Visual.
Yeah, I pressed and clicked
Sorry,
every
Matt.
button.
I didn't mean to cut you
Oh
off.
no! Just speaking of Swarm.
No, I just thought you were saying something sexual again. I don't.
It was.
I was ready.
It was also about Swarm, but
Yeah,
it
I
was
was
sexual.
ready
It
for
was a
it.
sexual comment.
Oh, damn.
About
I kinda figured.
lighting and. Yes, you got it that time. You got it.
You finally got it. I still haven't gotten this joint lit though.
That was beautiful.
Yes, Steven.
You know,
You got it.
I told you I'd get better. Just need some practice.
it's pracky. Everybody gets better with some pracky.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Oh, I've been talking this whole time.
So, how do you do it? I mean, you specifically, and when I say you specifically, I gotta ask, like, because I've worked with you enough to watch you get into your headspace, and you and I get into the same flow state. You know, a lot of people have asked Matt on sets, "Is he okay? He looks so angry." And what is your answer, Matt?
No, he's fine. He's in his happy place, actually.
That's right. You
doing
ever seen a
work.
bald eagle smile? They're always smiling.
It's called resting bitch face. It happens.
That's good because more of your
Your
brain
timing is
cells are going to what
impeccable.
you're doing. You know, you're
Yeah,
not
you-
worried about what other people think or what is really
Because
kind of going on.
Yeah, most of your brain power goes to analyzing what you're seeing, what the camera's seeing, what can it possibly see differently. It goes into a lot.
Yeah, you're really tapping into the multiverse of the mind. You know, and that's what's so cool. It's the limitless possibilities of what you could just. I mean, you move this camera
Multiverse.
here and you move this light there. There you are. You know, it's a completely. It's like you were saying. It's a completely different film by adjusting the light here and slapping a different lens on. Yeah, pass that puppy around. Why don't you?
You think you kindly?
So, yeah, I mean, so what do you have like a secret that kind of brings method to the madness that you're willing to tell our audience, or are these safeguarded secrets only ABS is really allowed to know.
Catch your breath first.
Yeah, I'm a little.
If so, we need to
bit
sign some
slumped.
paperwork because we do have a lot of BTS from a lot of these films. So, you know.
No. A lot of it boils down to, I guess, personal style, wanting to be different but still maintain some sorts of just a little bit of recognition, being pretty much establishing myself differently. But a good secret that I like to do is depth, adding depth to things. That's why mostly these guys are here, because they serve dual purpose. Not only do they help give some really cool, creepy underlighting
Yeah,
to
these
all
are
the
great,
TVs,
by the way. I love this edition.
but it gives us a nice little splash. We have a lot more depth, and I feel bad for blinding Tomo in the last shoot because I was trying to get the blinds, but it did not come out the way I wanted. But
it's still, I'll be honest with everything he was talking about, and Japanese culture and kind of the urban element and things like that.
yeah, I think
It worked. It actually worked.
I think it'd be
well.
cool if we changed it up, depending on the top, give someone a film noir vibe where that's the only light that they get is just.
We
the
might do a black and
blinds.
white episode, depending on the guest. We might actually do a black and white episode for something.
Whose idea was it? I think was it Drew's or someone else's? But when are we doing the noir sock puppets?
I don't
Because
know, because I have a
haven't-
character that I want to do. His name is
I feel-
Krusty the Magic Sock,
I
and
feel
he's
bad being a lighting
you can
guy,
guess.
and I feel bad being a lighting guy, and I haven't had the pleasure of touching anything noir yet. That's been one big thing I've really been wanting to do. Is
Remote was not lit for black and white, and I know Mark was worried about that, but I think once we put it in black and white, the story was always intended for that.
I
For
would
the
love-
various different,
I would love to do some noir lighting.
Yeah,
Really love to.
I think we'll have an opportunity. There will be some projects coming up that the short form.
Even if we
things-
do
If I
even
can
if-
interject, there's always a possibility with commitment. This is something I've been thinking about.
Let's see, even if not, worst case scenario, we just make a long form skit for AZ48, like how we did with Pleasantly Plump. That was a more long form skit. We just do a long form that is not green screen. We're on some sort of location and we light it like that.
Yeah, are you talking about maybe commitment being black and white?
Yes. This is
Very
something that's occurred to
interesting.
me.
You could jump around with it. You could play with
That might be interesting.
jump
that
around with it, and then
before.
you could also play with different aspect ratios too.
This was yes, this is something that I have done before in terms of mixing sort of aesthetics together.
Can I
You know
make
what
a
mean, in
suggestion?
project, but
This might be something interesting to really consider. If you were to do that, I would do the stuff that's in the future, the training stuff, do that in color, but do the stuff in the past in Austria in black and white.
well, and see that's
Why not
that's
do
what I
like
was
Better Call
thinking.
Saul and have the future be black and white? and
I
the
thought
past
about that,
color?
but
I've thought about both ways. I've thought about the entire way. I've also thought about it
he
being
goes all the
something
way,
that
all
was
the way.
kind of like black and white, but different, but kind of towards black and. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Something
it's
sort of
it's
off,
it's like
sort of.
desaturated.
Yeah, very desaturated.
Do you know
something
how,
that's kind of off.
how when they take old World War II footage and they transfer it to color,
Yes.
and it has that quality of like
Yeah, let me
you
bring it
can
up.
tell that it
So-
just isn't.
wash the color out of the footage and
Yeah.
then bring it back.
This actually reminds me of an old game called The Saboteur, where it was very similar like that. Where you had to like go
You
and
need like a string.
It's just a conveyor belt that just slowly goes back and forth.
Well,
Check this out.
nah.
doesn't each
Well,
Check this out.
Well, not this.
Oh, I'm checking it out. Look at that.
look
knife.
at that knife.
Holy
Jesus
fuck.
Christ! Look at that thing.
Oh, this
Okay,
is
here we
not in
go.
Color. Let me see color.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now see how it's just slightly off, you know?
That wouldn't be hard to do.
Wow, then there's
There's
Hitler.
I've been dialing in the VHS look for AZ48. That would not be that hard to do.
This is some pretty incredible footage. There's some of this I've never seen before.
Yeah, because there's like, it's the way they bring back, it's the way the vibrancy.
Yeah.
It's the saturation is still low, but the vibrancy is really
Well, they're
if you-
recreating color and they're doing it artificially, so
Well,
they're having to
yeah.
take in consideration the lighting, right, of the time and where light sources
Oh,
are coming
yeah.
from. Is this correct, Eric?
Well, not. Well, I was talking like all the color and stuff because if you look how rich some of the colors are, but it's still desaturated like that. So it's
Right,
it's the
right.
vibrancy. Sorry, I went into colorist mode on that one. But yeah, that wouldn't be that hard to do for commitment, honestly.
It's a thought. Here's the thing. We're going to shoot the thing all in 4K anyways.
I was about to say the biggest thing is creating a lookbook.
Yes,
What-
I do have some. I do have some.
What
items.
do some scenes need to look like for what do they need to look like in production, and what does it need to look like in post?
And in costuming, because that's also an aspect of the of doing a period piece. That's going to be a very
Let me
difficult
get my
thing.
blue lighter. We got
Something
a runner.
very. I originally saw visually it being very sharp and crisp and clean.
You could really
And
you guys could really push with it and have sub shots be 4x3, some be 16x9, and some are that cinescope 2x35x1, or I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. But you guys could really play around with that for certain scenes and certain shots.
yeah, that might be an option.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of it, but I know Matt. I've talked with you in the past about I really wanted to do the what is it called when that the movie starts off with?
Yes, there's a prologue. There's sort of a kind of Paul Verhoeven-esque sort of like ad.
Yeah, the
for-
ad. I wanted to kind of make it look
Yeah.
go for the AZ-48 look. Kind of what I've been creating with that and giving it that older look.
Yeah, we
and
talked about the.
I'd
old,
buy that for $1.
found
Well,
VHS
duck and
footage
cover.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
the
duck
old
and
duck and
cover.
cover
Yeah.
videos?
I talked to you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of like animation style, that sort of like giving it that sort of vibe. It, it definitely is going to follow suit with, I think, the rest of the stuff we've did. It's going to have a retro vibe, and I like that. And I mean, I think that also makes the story work better because, it's going to be strange.
Yeah, because
So
that one,
having it be,
I'd probably export it even at the 4x3. It's not a 16x9 video because then you can really play
Yeah.
with
Definitely the
all sorts
stuff.
of factors to play with the storytelling.
The that crisp quality, that kind of naturalistic elegance that you get from what you saw in Skyfall, Sam Mendes stuff,
I recommend
and also
looking into renting those Zeiss lenses because
Yeah,
that's what
definitely
we
gonna
used.
look at
That's what
those.
we used on Through Shadows, and it looked really fucking good.
I do want to at some point rent those DZO parafocals, the cine ones, because
Those would be perfect for some especially if you're trying to do some dolly zoom shots. Or
yeah,
some stuff
those
like that. Yeah.
those are probably the ones we're probably going to rent because the intent is to eventually buy those.
They
maybe,
they
but
aren't that
I wanna
expensive
try
because
them
we
first,
were originally supposed to rent them, but
Right.
the warehouse we were renting them from.
Yeah, they gave you something else instead, but
because
they
what-
worked. Those were great
because
weren't
they had an order coming because they had an order come back and then they were going to rent it
Yeah.
to us, but it came back damaged, so they couldn't rent it to us. So they're like, "Hey, we got these instead," and I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll rent some Carl Zeiss lenses."
So no, the thing that's going to be interesting is the stuff in the woods.
Yeah,
That's going to be some interesting lighting.
that's going
You
to
know.
be a lot of bouncing and some negative fill.
This is true.
Probably, especially if there's some moving scenes,
it
it's
to him,
probably
Jordan.
going to
Take
be
it to him.
it's probably going to be Steven and myself
Thank you.
running through the woods holding flags.
Thank you, Jordan.
I was hoping you were going to say holding hands.
Yeah, can you bring
We can
up?
do that too. We can sit there and skip. While
Are you able to bring
you
up
gotta
that
bounce,
video that I
gotta-
posted
got
in
a
the group
black
chat
flag and
with the running
Yeah, we can do
Remember that?
Steven.
on Facebook?
So down.
Yes, I
Even
think
if it's
so.
not needed for the shot, guess what we're doing now?
Ooh, I like it.
It's out. You can take one.
Yeah, I'll kill that son bitch, I guess.
Knock it out. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go. Now see the lighting in this,
I
and
don't
also
even give a
the some of the shots and the look. I'll be honest, Matt. With you want to hear this too. I'm really trying to go for that more Skyfall meets Bourne Identity look. Like the Bourne Identity movies really...
So, extremely high shutter speed.
Yes, yeah, for a lot of some of those.
Choppy, like the second we're going into the second the audience sees action,
yeah,
that fucking shutter speed needs to go up to the goddamn fucking moon.
So that's kind of more like the lighting and the color tone, not necessarily the cinematography style. Now, as far as locations go, we have talked about making this hyper realistic and having it actually be in like an Olympic gym, an Olympic pool where they actually train soldiers.
So one fun thing is you can also play around with frame rates. The whole movie is in 24, but one scene is in 60, and you can jump around. You can any aspect of it you can play with to attune to the story, and I think that'd be really cool, especially
doing
if you
some Zack Snyder stuff where it's like it's fast and then slow motion.
If you film at varying frame rates for it and play around with it in post, it can get really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, now here you go. If you look at Bourne Identity, this is
one of my favorite movie scenes ever. By the way,
this is definitely like color palette, the soft lighting, the camera work. See how we're good, nice and tight, and then a lot of good handheld stuff.
This proximity, yeah, tight, close.
But see how there's some good dolly work too? It's not just completely handheld.
That's probably a steady.
We have the steady cam.
These
Gimbals.
creeping scenes right here, these creeping scenes are in the script. I love the handheld in this film.
Yeah.
While he's like kind of creeping in and stalking, you just feel like you're right there with him when it's handheld.
This is probably steady as well, the way that camera's panning, or it's panning around like that. So I'm not 100% smooth with it, but for action scenes like this, I think it could really serve its purpose with it being, because you see it's not 100%, it's the camera
Now,
still
some of that
bounces.
stuff is pure handheld. Like this is handheld, definitely.
Yeah. You can feel it.
Yeah, now see how it shifts. It shifts back and forth between some stuff steady. That's definitely steady.
The tilt down
but
was
that's
a little smooth.
handheld. That little handheld.
I don't know. It depends because
it's tough to tell on some of them.
You kind of favor Matt Damon. Did anybody ever tell you that, Dakota? In your younger years,
yeah,
of course.
Actually,
You,
ironically. Matt Damon.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that Jason Bourne is an inspiration for commitment for the film, because
there are
he is
elements
one of the
of
greatest
that
characters
in,
of that type, of course.
Remote too, in the Red String Theory.
Yes,
and some of that stuff.
Course.
So it's all about losing your mind and your memory and having to put back
tight long sleeve shirts. Check this out.
Puzzle pieces, But anyways, getting back to it, these are some good examples of kind of those soft, what's.
So this would be just a good soft ambient lighting. You're not seeing any real practicals driving it. I'm not even seeing house lights that are on. It's just all nice exterior light coming in. This probably could have even been filmed at night, and they use very, very bright, could be like good handful of 10Ks out there that are just pumping in, and they're just diffused,
hitting them from the top
fucking
too.
Beyond all fucking hell. And
now I do think this actually is
like that look,
but there's sometimes
that look would not be that hard. You just need at least one powerful light shooting directly up at the ceiling, especially if you have a vaulted white ceiling. That will disperse. Yeah, that's definitely day.
But not all angles, because here's the thing. Depending on okay, here's a good example. They can only be in that space for 2 days, right? Knowing that, they just take their measurements and they make, get their pictures and stuff, and they shoot the fight from one angle, right? Once, and then when they need to, they just do it off at a different location, and they shoot more of the tight shots or close-ups and stuff, in the space that they rebuild. I think they do that. I mean, they do that a lot. They go
into a lot and then rebuild the interior, and like this could all be interior right here.
So, anyways, we'll probably cut this off here at this point because it's probably getting a little boring for the people who are on Spotify listening to this and wondering what the hell we are looking at. But
Nice, Steven, with the crickets, dude, you're getting it.
yeah, I love it.
you're
I love
catching
it. Thank you. That's perfect. That's the money. Okay, that's enough. You're letting it go to your head.
I'm sorry, I'm letting it go where?
So cheesy.
I can tell we're getting to the tail end of this because we're actually starting to get more into business that we can't say over the air because we're going to give too much away for our next project.
Yeah, we're starting to create content that needs to be cut out.
So this is going to be interesting because I'm the director of photography on this. Matt is directing and writing this and casting it, although the cast is pretty small in this one.
Yeah, we got a couple people who are already cast. There are a couple more, you know that we will be casting out for in the coming months. So be on the lookout for that.
Eric is the LD and also going to be what is that term? What
First
so-
AC?
Yeah, I guess you would be first AC.
A little bit.
Here and there, and probably a little bit of Steadicam operator.
Yeah, because you're going to be, kind of point guard on camera. Because I'm gonna be on screen, and I'm going to be in front of camera. You're going to be behind camera, the majority of the time. We are going to work on getting another camera up in there. Names will be omitted.
Would be cool to get in on it.
A lot of staffing to come. For sure.
I'm sorry, I heard a lot of fapping to come.
Oh, sure.
Well, that's not.
You didn't hear wrong.
Staffing.
Staffing. Oh, okay.
Symbolism.
What is the symbolism?
Oh god. Symbolism.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride. There's gonna be a lot of hiking involved, a lot of backpacking, a lot of got a lot of gear muling, all of us on this one.
That's entirely going to depend on time of day of shoot. Do we need a Jenny? Are we dragging? Because depending on what we need, we might need anywhere from something handheld to what we were using on the last film.
Yeah, true.
And that would be that would suck.
Yeah, but we're gonna start mapping that out here over the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This thing's either happening in the winter or it's happening in the spring. It's happening.
I look forward to it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
I think, yeah, depends on how pre-production progresses, from here, and the weather is also a factor. Shooting exteriors, shooting in the elements, so planning around that accordingly. So that the suffering is minimal. But no, I think it overall will be pretty fun time. Pretty contained experience, I think.
Yeah, I've got my work cut out for me on this one.
Yeah, we all will. It's all hands on deck. You know what I mean? We'll be doing some things we've never done before. And, that's the whole point of kind of fuels the science of art really also. Is the desire, the need to do something, that was better than the last thing you did.
Well, we're also kind of pushing the boundaries with this one on a more technical level. This one is involving a lot of things, excuse me, that we haven't done physically before. So we're having to really study. Excuse me.
Oh, God bless you.
Bless me.
Can we get an applause or something?
Even better.
I love it.
That's good because we're getting way too much into. Oh God, what was in that?
Oh, he's on, dude. Steven come back every time.
I took us read the wrong thing.
Steven Seward, aka Demonic.
I think I got some of this paint. Oh, is the ball still working?
Really
It is.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Took a second.
That's definitely got lead in it.
Oh, absolutely. Anyways,
It's the good stuff.
It's the old new drug.
Yes.
go ahead and play that music again, shall you? That's our outro
Steven,
music.
write us out.
That's just write us out. Get us the hell out of here, will you? So, no, this has been great, Eric. A pleasure as always. You know, it's good to finally
I look forward to the next episode.
Get you in a chair in front of the camera versus behind the camera. It's rare. I definitely learned a lot. I hope everybody else did. I know there's a likelihood that we're probably going to be doing a couple of episodes on lighting because we hardly scratched the surface.
Oh no.
Of the science of art on this. So
yeah.
we'll be back.